Temples in India hold profound historical and religious significance, particularly within Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism. They are considered not just places of worship, but also centers for cultural, spiritual, and social activities. Below is a brief overview of the history and significance of temples in the context of Sanatana Dharma. Historical evolution of temples in India. Early Vedic period from 1500 to 500 BCE. In the early Vedic period, worship primarily took place in open spaces, near rivers, forests, and homes. Fire sacrifices, known as yajnas, were central, with offerings made to deities like Agni, Indra, and Varuna. There were no permanent temples in this period. The focus was on nature and elemental forces. Post-Vedic period from 500 BCE to 200 CE. With the rise of new religious ideas, the concept of murtis, or idols, became more prominent. People started enshrining deities in stone and other materials. Temporary shelters for deities were used during festivals and rituals, marking the early stage of temple architecture. The Gupta Empire marks the beginning of classical temple architecture. This period saw the rise of permanent stone temples dedicated to Vishnu, Shiva, and other deities. Notable examples include the Dashavatara temple in Deoghar, a precursor to many grander temples. The medieval period saw the construction of many monumental temples, particularly in South India. Temples like Brihadiswara Temple in Tamil Nadu, Kailasa Temple in Ellora, and the Khajuraho group of monuments in Madhya Pradesh were built. Temples became more than places of worship. They served as administrative and economic hubs. Kings and emperors donated land and wealth to temples, enhancing their importance in society. Architectural styles varied by region, with the Dravidian style in South India, Nagara in North India, and Vezara in the Deccan becoming dominant. Temples continued to play a vital role in the socio-cultural life of India. In modern times, they continue to be centers of devotion, art, music, and social reform. Significance of temples in Sanatana Dharma. Abodes of deities. Temples are considered the earthly homes of deities. Each temple enshrines a specific form of god or goddess, representing the infinite, divine, intangible forms. Daily rituals, including the chanting of mantras, offering of food, known as prasadam, and conducting of elaborate rituals, maintain a connection between the devotee and the divine. Spiritual centers. A temple is a place where the spiritual energy of the deity is believed to be concentrated. Visiting a temple and participating in its rituals is considered spiritually purifying, as it helps the devotee rise above worldly attachments. Architecture as symbolism. Temple architecture is often imbued with symbolic meaning. The shikhara or vimana, tower, of a temple represents Mount Meru, the mythological center of the universe in Hindu cosmology. The Sanctum Sanctorum, Garbhagriha, symbolizes the womb of creation, where the deity resides, representing the universe's core. Promoting Dharma. Temples are key institutions for promoting Dharma, righteousness. They teach ethical conduct and spiritual wisdom through scriptures, festivals, and rituals. Many temples also have attached schools and centers for the study of Vedas, Upanishads, and other sacred texts, thus perpetuating the teachings of Sanatana Dharma. Festivals and pilgrimage. Temples are central to the celebration of festivals like Diwali, Navaratri, Ram Navami, and Krishna Janmashtami, which are not just religious but social events that bind communities together. The concept of yatra, pilgrimage, is deeply rooted in Sanatana Dharma, and visiting specific temples like Vaishno Devi, Jagannath Puri, Tirupati, and Rameswaram is believed to grant spiritual merit. Community and cultural hubs. Historically, temples served as centers for art, culture, and education. Dance forms like Bharatanatyam and Odyssey were nurtured in temples, as were music traditions such as Carnatic music. Temples patronized artists and scholars, playing a vital role in preserving and disseminating Indian cultural heritage. Temples often acted as social welfare centers, offering food and shelter to the poor, as well as running educational institutions. Key temples in India and their significance. Badrinath Temple, Uttarakhand. Dedicated to Lord Vishnu, it is one of the Char Dham pilgrimage sites considered vital for spiritual liberation. The Jagannath Temple in Puri, Odisha, is famous for the annual Rath Yatra. This temple is a major Vaishnava center representing the universal nature of God. Meenakshi Temple in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. A prime example of Dravidian architecture, it symbolizes the divine marriage of Shiva and Parvati, blending spiritual and cultural themes. Kashi Vishwanath Temple in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Dedicated to Lord Shiva, it is one of the most revered temples, believed to grant moksha or liberation to those who die in Varanasi. Tirupati Balaji Temple in Andhra Pradesh. One of the wealthiest temples, it is dedicated to Lord Venkateswara, a form of Vishnu, drawing millions of devotees yearly. Temples in India are far more than places of worship. They represent the heart of Sanatana Dharma's spiritual and cultural life. Through their rich architectural styles, symbolic meanings, and religious rituals, they embody the essence of divine devotion, social harmony, and eternal spiritual truths. Their role in preserving and propagating the philosophy of Sanatana Dharma makes them vital pillars in the history and culture of India.